larger, harder dungeons early? Is he going to double down on that? Or is he going to back up a little bit and go for the early dungeons? Well, I say early, the levels 1, 2, 3, 4 before the big dungeons again.
Well, we are seeing the vanilla 3 from both our runners. Same as last time. So we'll see what it is this.
If it's level 5 again.
Let's hope not. This time in level 8.
Oh, even better.
Even larger, more items, but I think you poke around for a little bit more, and you should probably leave early on, especially if this is the first room.
Yeah, walk in, the immediate Goma and key block, and it's like, alright, well, I guess I'm out. See ya.
Now, it could be possible that you can bomb to the right of the Goma, but we saw that you can't go south from the starting room. So, it's not really many options you can do. No bombs early on from either of our runners. Doesn't look like they either got the free bomb drop from the first enemy, or maybe they didn't go.
You know, I must admit, this scene is already nicer than the first one. It's telling them what dungeon not to go into.
Yeah, a little bit of direction is nice. Noki trying to get some early bombs. You don't blame him. BydeezDad doing exactly what he did last time, checking Vanilla 1, as is Noki checking Vanilla 6.
Probably gonna do 6 Armos here.
Well, yes, but I do wonder if BydeezDad will go Armos this time. We do see level 2, however.
Oh, hi, Pole's voice.
That's a lot of Pulse voice. Fortunately, the door to the left is open.
And the key was just chilling on the ground. Hey, it's a boomerang.
Honestly, as your first item, I'd pick it up.
Yeah, I would too. Like, there's still enough value to be gained from it. And Nochi is in level 6, at level 6, and Gel's rolled high.
That good old +2. Now, with 6 at 6, with Lionel's and Pull's voice, this could take a bit of time for Noki. And it might not pay off this time. Last time, level 6 had everything. This time, anything goes.
This is a level 6 I'd be comfortable saying, yeah, I'll just come back later. Also, bomb blocked on level 2.
And we get that map. That's... Name that ink blot. I mean, the top part's, it's clearly a flag. I don't know what, the bottom part...
A flag on a hill.
I like that. A flag on a hill.
Or just a tiny representation of a brain.
We got some key door Monty, but it leads to a staircase in 6. Is it going to be a good staircase, though?
Based on how early in the dungeon it is, my bet is it's a transport.
It is its transport, and Noki wants nothing to do with that right now. Meanwhile, BydeezDad doing the same thing you did last time, heading to Vanilla 2. Honestly, I just think this is an inferior route just for the sake of you don't check what the Armos item or where it is. Because, I mean, it's only a 60% chance of being on Death Mountain. But it's still more than half. And if it's not, the cave tells you where it actually is. So you don't have to randomly check all the other Armos only to find that it's under none of them.
Plus, it's kind of convenient.
Well, Noki is clearing out these Pulse voice. You won't get an item from this room, but you could go south. See what's through that shutter door. BydeezDad did get a bomb drop on the overworld. 2 bombs.
Now, that could be important if there's early bomb blocks in some of these dungeons. find level 7 at level 2.
Same palette as last race. Hopefully it's a dungeon of a different color, though.
Well, it looks like the game is ready to throw the players back into ridiculous combat with no items.
And looks like level 6 is paying off again. The flute being in level 6. This is kind of hilarious, just how much level 6 is paid off in these matches.
So was that the new meta now? You just take 6, no matter what?
Seems
or maybe
like
that's
it.
just these 2 particular seeds.
Also seems like we got a compass in 6, and it's way on the other end of the world. This is looking to be segmented.
I can show you the world. Shimmering, shining. Getting hit in the face with a wish robe.
Yeah, Wizrobe's pretty prevalent in 7. Keys are pretty prevalent in staircases too. BydeezDad finding out the hard way.
You know, I almost wonder if the runners would rather have just had a seed with absolutely no items, but not insane combat to start.
I mean, if there's no items, how can you kill Ganon? But
yeah, all the items are in 9. Like,
I'll
we
take
just
you
took
up
out
on
all
that
the
offer.
9 and replaced it with 15 item stairs.
BydeezDad deciding I can't do 7 right now, and actually going back to the start. So this is part of the reason why I don't particularly like going to 2 first, just because the earlier you go over there, the less hearts you have, which means the less likely you are to be able to get the white sword item, which means you just have to backtrack a lot to go back and forth between the Lost Hills and...
I think it would have made sense to check the Armos item, but I like his choice to go back into 2 now that he has bombs and he knows where the bomb wall is.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea. You just gotta hope that the Pulse Voice aren't in your way.
I mean, they're going to be. It's Zelda 1. It's either the most tedious path possible or the most tedious enemies possible. Or both!
No, he's still in 6, looking for a workaround. Looking for any way to get over to the eastern portion of the dungeon. Spidey's gotta be careful to these, Okay, I've noticed that BydeezDad has, tried to kill a lot of enemies that have had, that in rooms that have already had drops in them, just lying on the floor. I wonder if he, doesn't know that if there's an item already on the floor, then an item will not spawn from killing all the enemies.
Well, I'm noticing, at least in this seed, there's kind of a pattern that the enemies in the rooms he's killing, yes, even if there's an item on the floor, it has bubbles. So he might be taking the approach of, kill the enemies off so that if I have to come back through, I don't have to worry about losing health in those rooms.
Maybe, but I mean, I feel especially with that room, it would have been so much easier to just go around. Meanwhile, Noki, you're gonna have to up A from that room. It's very easy to not realize this and just want to kill all the enemies early on, but you can't kill those ropes, and your bombs will not reach that far. Maybe they'll reach that far. Actually, they will, but do you really want to use your bombs?
Depends on, I think it depends on what side of the room you're on, and yeah, So, I honestly, at this point, don't agree with BydeezDad trying to kill this room off, having already seen the drop in it.
Yeah, the best way there is just go through.
Yeah.
The best combat is no combat. Knowing when to fight and when to not fight is one of the best ways to lower your time.
And look at this! A staircase that leads right to the Triforce in level 6.
The question is, does it lead right to the staircase item? Because we have seen the floor item. We haven't seen the staircase item.
I think if there's rooms past the Triforce, which there are... Oh!
This is a ladder-blocked Triforce.
Yep. Because, you know, that's what you wanted to see in this dungeon, is a ladder-blocked Triforce.
BydeezDad eventually does get through that room with Lionel's, finds a compass. We're still looking for a floor item, though.
Now, to 6's benefit, it is a pretty quick Triforce from start if you take that transport, so it's not terribly bad to get back to. You just have to reclear the Lionel room.
And knowledge is power.
He now knows he's going to have to get the ladder at some point in the scene.
BydeezDad getting bopped by that gel. Gels are honestly some of the hardest enemies to kill sometimes in Keys 2, just because you can. It's very easy to take them for granted, just because of how easy they usually are. But they can do half a heart here, half a heart there, and it's death by 1,000 cuts.
I am convinced that the gel's hitbox is like 3 times the size of the gel sprite. Those things just seem to hit you whenever they feel like it. Also, we saw a reversey on Nochi's side, so he may have found the item in 6.
BydeezDad again trying to kill this room, and I'm not entirely sure why.
Yeah, I think at this point you just kind of have to move on from the room. And even if you're fishing for a bomb drop, there's better enemies to fish a bomb drop off of.
Yeah, and he's not hurting for bombs right now. Let's see if this staircase leads to anything. Leads to nothing.
It didn't push. Oh, because it's here.
You've been tricked. Also, at this point, definitely looks like a segmented 6.
Looks like it. Well, we're about to get the map. Yep.
Definitely. So this could actually be a transport staircase. But it's not.
It's not. But it's not the ladder, so Nochi's going to have to leave. But he has the knowledge of the 2 items in 6.
That being the flute and the scrap metal. We've seen both boomerangs so far. Could have had a war between the wooden and the magical boomerang, but Noki deciding to be the better man and not take either.
So it looks like we saw the second item in 2. It was a heart container.
Well, it's definitely useful. A bit more survivability. And these Lionels shouldn't be too bad.
The Armos item is silver arrows.
Oh, free silver arrows again!
So now it's starting to feel like the past 2 seeds are very similar to each other, just a couple things moved around. This time it was the recorder in 6 and the silver arrows at the Armos.
Yeah, the raft did decide to take a bit of a hike, but who knows how far it decided to move.
And maybe the raft is behind the recorder spot, and then the bow's in the raft spot.
Maybe they're both in here. Vanilla 3, or sorry, Vanilla 9 is now 3.
So I'm pretty sure that's not where 3 normally is.
I play ROM hacks, okay?
Wait, people play Vanilla? BydeezDad is going to pick up his 5th heart. He's probably going to do the check Vanilla 5 and then do the white sword item.
Some people prefer to check Vanilla, or the white sword item first, and then check the heart container. Or, sorry, Vanilla 5. But, it's to each their own. There are pros and cons for each raid. It really just depends on, do you need to go to Vanilla 9 after the white sword or not? And what enemies are on this screen.
I think it also depends on how many items you have left, because to me, the less items you have left that you need to find, the better the play to go white sword before the Vanilla 5 level is.
Either way, we see a compass, or a candle. Lots of words that begin with C. Over at the B shop again. This time it's a bit cheaper. Although I don't believe BydeezDad was able to afford it. We also got a map on Noki's side for level 3, so let's talk about this shape for a moment.
It's a fancy E.
One could say it's a fancy E. Maybe that was a bit forced.
Yes. So there's a heart container in 3.
There's Lionel's in 5, which is at 5, and an early staircase. Is it going to be an item, though?
For what my money's worth, probably not.
I actually feel like this will be the item this time.
It's never an early item in 5.
It really never is.
And if it is an early item in 5, the seed is cursed.
We haven't
But
seen
that might actually be the item right there.
Could be. We'll have to see if BydeezDad is able to make his way back there.
I wonder if that's
Noki's,
gonna be I wonder if that's gonna be the latter.
If it is the latter, then that's a bit of a turnaround from the last game. We do see a white sword being eaten in a shoot room by a like in level 3. That's a strange combination of events.
So we're apparently hearing rumors of a bow sighting.
If there was a bow, I missed it.
As did I.
BydeezDad didn't miss that Triforce in 5.
So, Nochibato's doing the quote-unquote proper way to do this room, which is instead of just constantly respawn the likes, also heart container at white sword again. Oh, heart container requires 6 hearts. And apparently it was the floor item in level 5.
Floor item in 5. That is huge if that's the case. We'll have to confirm when he pauses next time he pauses, but if that's the case,
Another
then...
ladder block Triforce!
Oh man, suddenly this race is getting interesting. BydeezDad potentially has the bow, Noki's got silvers, nobody's got the ladder, and everywhere needs it.
Well, BydeezDad is about to pick up his silvers here. Once Nochi goes to 5, we're gonna assume he'll pick up his bow just by sheer virtue of it. Seemed like it was very quick in that dungeon.
There's those silvers,
Yep.
so now BydeezDad has some excellent ranged combat, and yep, confirming the bow was in 5 on the floor.
That's a pretty valid reason to just go ahead and leave 5.
Yeah, you got a floor item, you got the Triforce. He doesn't have the flute yet, but he will get it shortly if he digs around and sits.
This actually is a fairly close race so far, even because you think about it. BydeezDad is gonna get the flute out of here. He won't. If he goes to the vanilla 9 spot, he'll actually be able to get the white sword faster than Nochibato did. This is shaping up to be a very interesting race.
Yeah, at this point, it's gonna come down to the ladder, and to the lesser extent, the raft. Now, I don't believe we've seen what's on the coast. Noki's about to show us. As BydeezDad is
A heart. BydeezDad might be a little concerned about his ruby count, which is understandable at this point. You don't necessarily have a lot of money, you haven't bought a candle yet.
You definitely want to take all those bomb secrets you can. Take those 5 rupees, just not give anything up. He is able to clear this room, which Noki was unable to do, but didn't give us anything nice. Well, what is nice is level 1.
Absolutely. If Nochi pulls a ladder out of 1, actually no, I don't think even if Nochi pulls a ladder out of 1, I don't think that changes his routing. I still think he's gonna do the dungeons at Vanilla 2 and Vanilla 5 next, no matter what.
Oh, definitely.
There's no reason to just stop and go get those Triforces.
Yeah, because those are just Triforces. You can get them at any time. They don't give you anything. Whereas the other dungeons have potentially more items, such as a red ring or just some other nice form of combat. And he doesn't know where the bow is yet.
I like what BydeezDad was trying to do. Take out the manhandler with the silver arrows and save the bombs.
Unfortunately, he was a bit low on health for that to be successful.
But a valiant effort nonetheless, and
we did see a heart container on the floor in level 1, so a bit more healthy than last seed.
yeah, I mean, in 20 minutes, they have already amassed more health than they did in 50 the last one. Well, not like land bolas are going, well, likes as well. Every enemy will like having a white sword to fight it with.
I like having a white sword to fight likes.
I like having a white sword just in general. Missed the force bomb count, got the force fiver instead. Although he might have been going for the force fiver anyway.
Now let's talk about where Bydeez is in level 6. He's one room directly below the below that Triforce. He doesn't have the compass though, so he doesn't know that he's ladder blocked fully yet, and he's actually right beside that magic boomerang item.
And I'd like to see that both runners decided to try to open the bomb walls before picking up the bomb pack on the floor. Oh! Ladders in one!
Oh, that is critical. And Bydeez was actually able to clear out that room because he has the silver arrows. And the
Nochi is a raft away from go mode. Oh, that's no fun.
That's a hard call, but I actually agree with leaving the bomb capacity just because this early on, yes, you've got the white sword, but you still have very little in terms of survivability. You cannot take many hits.
I also agree with it, especially if you are even considering a play at Magical Sword if you end up just finding a ton of hearts.
Well, Noki's about to find the second item, speaking of hearts, or sorry, third item in one. It's a heart container.
So 2 hearts and a ladder in level 1.
Speaking of one, name that ink blot.
It's a cactus.
I'm gonna have to agree with you on that one. Bydeez, finding that ladder block Triforce, finding that magical boomerang, and leaving. Oh, this is... I don't blame him. It's just unfortunate.
I don't actually think it's that unfortunate. He knows he's going to have to come back there with a ladder anyway. He's basically making the gamble that ladder is not in 6, which is a very reasonable gamble to make when you still have 1 and 3 on the table.
And in this seed, it is the right gamble. Ladder's not in 6, the flute is, and the flute does not lead to the ladder. So
now,
if Bydeez is still definitely in this, as long as he can get a candle and get to 1 as fast as possible.
Now, where I see that being an issue for him is once he gets his ladder, is he going to continue to gamble on the second item in 6 being nothing?
Yeah, and getting that candle could be very problematic, just because he's got an exceptionally low amount of rupees.
Yes, but remember that there's 60 free rupee, that there's 2 medium secrets sitting on the coast just waiting for him to pick them up. So, getting money will not necessarily be an issue for him.
Either way, speaking of issues, this Patra proving to be one, but Noki doing a pretty effective job of clearing it out. I'm not sure why. Perhaps he doesn't realize that this room cannot have an item drop in level 7. Or maybe it was just to get it out of the way, because it was rather in the way in a maze room like that.
I would think it's a combination of both. Because it is sometimes hard to keep track of certain rooms, like the maze room, it's a little bit easier to keep track of, but there are times where it's harder than you would expect to keep track of, okay, if this room shows up in this dungeon, it can't have a block, if this room shows up in this dungeon, it can't, so on and so forth. Like,
yeah, it's definitely not... Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah, and it's definitely... It's not the most well-known knowledge, too. I personally didn't know it until, like, a few weeks ago, so... It's pretty safe to say that many of our newer runners would not know that, unless they've been around for quite a while. Either way, Bydeez did pick up that map, and is exploring 3 while Noki's debating, do I really want to kill those blue Wizrobes?
Have we seen a stair item in level 7 yet?
We have seen no item in level 7.
I wonder if... Well, actually, you see a blue wizard block and you see a Goma block. I feel like if you don't get the items in 7, because you have Recorder, you gamble on the raft not being in 7, but this is the first place you come back to if you have to come back for an item.
Yeah, and that Goma block was in the second room of the dungeon, guarding a potential staircase, so I definitely think coming back here when you have a bow is pretty high in your to-do list. Noki, finding the map. This is a pretty large 7, much larger than last seed 7 at least, so name that ink block, folks.
It actually looks like
A pair of sunglasses.
I was gonna say more like a cart of some sort in front, pulling a nice big bag behind it.
Could be.
Or maybe even like a sled.
BydeezDad found that white sword. You can't get it like that, BydeezDad. You're gonna have to leave and re-enter the room.
Yeah, that would be, although that would be very interesting to see. Just, you throw it, you shoot a sword with an arrow and it shows up on your back, BydeezDad. Oh, what? So...
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. I'm not sure if BydeezDad is aware that the way you get that item, if the like doesn't spawn the way you want it to, is you just clear the room and then it'll spawn in the middle.
Yeah, things like that, they come from experience and watching a lot of races. And I'm pretty sure BydeezDad is one of our newer runners. We had a lot of new runners for this tournament. We do see some staircases from Noki's side. Are they going to be any of the item variety?
Oh my goodness! The raft is in 7.
I'd say so.
Nochibato at 27 minutes. Well, no, he's not in go mode. He doesn't have the bow out of 5. In commentary land, we're in go mode because we know where all the required items are.
Yeah, and that bow in 5 was very free. Like, this is... But in both seeds, Noki has had an insanely fast go mode time. Or just or rather, well, less of the first seed, but what I'm trying to say is, both seeds have given us not much to work with, but has given us all the go mode items. We haven't had a case where, okay, we have to full clear every dungeon, silver arrows are in 9, the raft is the last item it could possibly be. No, we've got items missing from all the dungeons, basically. And we don't need any of them. And there's the Triforce for free.
Nochi is going to look for the second item in here. I agree with this decision, because he doesn't have the bow yet, and he doesn't want to risk. And I think it makes sense to not risk skipping it in a 7 that really isn't too terribly big in the grand scheme of things. I agree with this decision to at least look around a little bit more in 7.
I agree, especially just because you don't have many good combat options. I mean, you're still only at 7 hearts. You don't have a red ring. A white sword is nice, but... Yeah, a white sword is nice, but your defensive options are very limited. Yeah, and he's out of bomb.
So he might be looking for a bomb dropper.
And if Noki ends up going into Ganon without that red ring, it could be problematic if he doesn't pick up a potion. Depending on if he's able to get the stun lock or not. We saw last seed he got the stun lock, but sometimes getting the stun lock is just pure luck, if Ganon just always goes to the wrong side.
Now, I am very curious as to if Nochi is going to go back into this level or not. Or if he's going to say, I've got one item, I'm going to go ahead and do more dungeons. He's going to go do more dungeons.
That is a gamble that will pay off. I'm not sure it's a gamble that I would personally do, but it's hard to say. It's really... I don't have a... I don't exactly know what items Noki has and hasn't seen from every dungeon, since my tracker's really only just what both players have seen, but who knows?
I think... I do think part of his decision was influenced by, again, having that recorder. having the recorder, to me, is not necessarily a free pass, but it gives you a lot more... It gives you a lot more flexibility to gamble on dungeons, because you can say, okay, well, I can just whistle back here whatever I want. I don't have to dig this dungeon long and hard for an item.
Yeah, having an early flute is exceptionally useful.
Especially if you have the flute before going to the dungeon at the level 9 spot. As long as you can pull the Triforce out of it, it's very easy to gamble. Well, not very easy, but it's easier.
Well,
and there's the bow.
Yep. Noki's in bow mode, go mode, no mode, whatever kind of mode you want.
At 30 minutes and 39 seconds, the first one, we have one runner just grabbing Triforces and leaving in these dungeons. He is in Triforce and go mode. This could very well be a sub-hour.
Oh, definitely. I'd be surprised if it isn't.
Because he knows where the Triforce is in 6, he knows where the Triforce is in 3. He's just got to do... He's already done with... Well, he's got to go back to 8 to get that Triforce. That could take forever.
Yeah. And speaking of 8, that's where BydeezDad actually in. We saw that power bracelet in actually guarded by that Goma in the first room of 8. He didn't have a key to go south, but he was able to bomb to the right, so... We'll see how this pays off. We know it won't give him any of the progression items, but if he can get a red ring, or just a wand, then that could help a lot with his combat.
A magic key would also be useful.
A magic key would be exceptionally useful. He's been really low on keys.
So, one thing I think I do like about the decision to go to 8 is it's 3 items. He doesn't have a candle yet. So by not yet having a candle, it makes sense to go to 8. Basically, by going to 8 and not immediately going for the candle, to me that signals a gamble of, I'm assuming 1 is Rafter Recorder blocked, let me go check 8, which is my next best item. Or my next highest density items.
Unfortunately, I do have to say that I don't really agree with this play, because... Like, we've seen 8, we've seen 5, we've seen 7, we've seen 6. All the big dungeons are already found, so we know that whatever's underneath that burning bush, or the burnable bush, is going to be dungeon 1, 2, or 4, which have the same numbers of items as a lot of those late-game dungeons, but are a lot faster to clear. So I definitely think that just holding off on that candle is really... It's never a thing you want to do. It's never a play to just not go there.
We also haven't seen 9 yet.
This is true. We haven't seen 9 yet.
He could be gambling that 9 is at the candle spot. And also, I think Nochi just gave up another bomb.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Or maybe I'm getting my 2 seeds mixed up.
Yeah, I was thinking, I don't think Nochi gave up a bomb to begin with this seed. We do see a map and a wand on BydeezDad, though. You're not gonna say it for me? Okay, name that ink blot.
I mean, that's your thing. I'm totally fine with just letting the ink blots be ink blots.
Fair enough.
Also,
I don't know what that ink blot is.
It's a cactus.
It's like a cloud, sort of. See if anything happens. The death happened. That's no.
So Nochi has taken the death of 5. Apparently, we are robots now.
We've just That would
think
be
Discord
a
is...
problem beyond.
I think Discord was being Discord for a second.
It's unfortunate, but that happens from time to time. But it seems the difficulties are resolved.
We're being asked in chat what our powers are.
Let's go with a commentator's curse and how about you?
I'm gonna say never finding ladder.
Well, hopefully that's not a fate we bestow upon Bydeez, who's still digging 8, hasn't found getting trolled by that staircase by that last wall master. We're gonna see potentially the last item in 8, but we don't. It's a staircase.
Has Nochi seen the Triforce in 5?
Noki has not seen the Triforce in 5.
Oh.
He's still searching. Name that ink blot? It's a building. It's a box.
So we're hearing in chat that Nochi has seen it and is still looking for items. He might be looking for a red ring.
My mistake then. But I don't blame him for looking for that red ring. That's... You don't want to go into Ganon with 8 hearts, no ring.
Knowing me personally, I would have just taken a Triforce and left. I wouldn't have even bothered with the second item. Just said, okay, bye.
Yeah, I also personally would have just taken it and left, but that's more so because I'm more confident with White Sword, no ring. But if Noki hasn't practiced that combat, and is just not as familiar with it, then definitely taking the extra time to make sure you don't die 10 times to Ganon is worth it.
Because it bears repeating, it is faster to search for a red ring than it is to die multiple times, depending on the level. If you're full clearing a level 6 to get a red ring, okay, you can probably take a death or 2 to Ganon, and it's probably okay. Oh, look at that! The red ring is in 5.
That was a huge payoff. So far, every dungeon that Noki's decided to dig has paid off. Dividends. This is kind of insane.
I'm pretty sure at this point, Nochi is no longer going to care about any items. He's just going to say, give me Triforces, I'm leaving.
And, meanwhile, Bydeez found a bomb upgrade in level 8. It's the most expensive it can be. 125 rupees.
It's probably +2.
Bydeez still not having that level 8 Triforce, but he has found all 3 items, so... Just gotta clear the last few rooms.
So now Noki is going to look at the White Sword item, pick up the White Sword heart, and probably just go to 2? 8. I think 8 is his... No? Like... Looks like he's gonna go to 2.
Looks like he's gonna go get some Triforces. Where they are, however, is anyone's game. Sorry, go ahead.
I think the best route for Nochi to take here is gonna be to go 2, 3, 6, recorder spot, 8, raft spot, and then depending on where 9 is, switch recorder and raft spot. To me, that's the optimal route to take at this point.
Sounds like it. I definitely would also, if I was Noki... Well, actually, I suppose now that you have the red ring, it's less important, but I'd still try and fit in the take any to get a potion south of Vanilla 1.
I don't think it would hurt. It wouldn't necessarily hurt in the sense that, oh, well, by getting this, you're going to just throw everything off. Nah, it would just be an extra safety. Still no candle for Bydeez.
Yeah, at this point, Bydeez just needs to get the candle. He needs to get some of these medium secrets behind bomb walls and underneath Armos and just get the candle, get into 1. Anything else is just, at this point, a mistake.
It's extra time that he doesn't need to be spending searching. Now, if he goes to 7, he'll at least get his raft, and Maybe the red candles in the raft block dungeon? Hearing about a lighter block at the second segment at 8. Okay.
Oh,
So
that
Triforce is probably there.
that's really unfortunate. Three Triforce is blocked by the ladder, and Bydeez is without the ladder. That's... It really doesn't get much worse than that, I say as he dies in the overworld.
Nochi has picked up his Triforce out of level 2. He's got half of the Triforce pieces and all of the ability to get them.
Now, I will say this, based on where Bydeez was going, it does look like he is trying to get the money for a candle. He looks like he was heading for the large secret in the far northeast, but getting bopped by those blue dark nuts on the way, it can be difficult. If I were him in this situation, I might want to just go north and heal at the fairy fountain up here, which is what he's doing.
I almost wonder if it also wouldn't be better to just get 2 mid-secrets.
Oh, it most definitely would. Like the one east of Vanilla 2, and maybe the small secret. Those 2 might be enough. But it's possible
However,
that...
Go ahead.
Well, I was thinking it's possible that I wasn't paying full attention if Bydeez grabbed those already for Silver Arrow money, or he just might not know for certain where all the medium and small secrets are.
He could also be looking at, if he's going to go to the northeast anyway, pick up the letter so that he has the option to buy a potion later if he prefers to do that over try to route in one of the take any's, depending on where 9 is.
Personally, I would never recommend buying a potion. It's expensive, it's very out of the way, but you can just get free potions that are in your way, and it's really just, that's it, it's time consuming.
The only time I could see buying a potion is if you're making a hard committal to Magical Sword, and even then you'll have Magical Sword.
Yeah, so at Magical Sword, the need for a potion becomes significantly less, and even if you don't have the red ring. Just because you can kill most things before they kill you. Bydeez is taking another stab at 7. He will get the raft here if he's successful.
That may actually lead him away from level 1 if he does get it, because he might say, okay, let's just go to the raft spot, assuming it's not 9.
Let's hope that he doesn't. Let's hope that he just goes from 7, gets some of the forced money secrets, and then heads to 1.
Or the other side of the coin is if he is going to commit to the raft spot, you want it to be level 9 so that he doesn't have a choice but to either dig 6 or go into level 1. Because he has to still dig 6 at some point to get that recorder.
Yeah. He has a lot of things to do. It can be difficult to just know how to route and calculate all the gambles. Sometimes not gambling is the best gamble.
He sees the raft.
We also see a,
Oh! He got sniped! He got sniped. Sorry.
I have no words except ouch.
Oh,
Also,
man.
we see a map from 6. Did we actually already see a map from 6 on Noki's side?
We might have.
We might have. I don't think I ever said name that ink blot in regards to it.
Well, I can tell you exactly what this is. World 8 Bowser from Super Mario Brothers throwing a hammer.
He's throwing it the wrong way, though.
Okay, you're playing the reverse ROM hack, where you go left instead of right.
Breaking the cardinal rule of video games since whenever that was released.
I'm getting questioned on my assessment of level 6's map. I mean, Bowser, you have to use your imagination, folks.
Well, Bydeez taking another shot at the raft, picking it up successfully this time as Noki picks up that level 6 Triforce. It's only got level 4 and level 8 left. Level 8 bit out of the way. Level 4, we're not entirely sure if it's raft blocked or quarter blocked. We're about to find out.
Survey says it is. That's actually... So level 9 being raft blocked is actually extremely good news for BydeezDad, because it's going to force him into level 1 or level 6.
Both of which are good options for him.
I think level 1 is the better option for him, just on the sheer grounds that it's smaller.
Yeah, it's level 1, it's got 3 items, as opposed to the 1 item that he is missing in 6. Plus, he knows he can't get the Triforce from level 6.
Exactly. He has every reason to go ahead and just go for the candle spot. Although he still needs to purchase a candle.
At 56 rupees, though, he should be able to afford it. He only needs 11 more rupees, or 10 more rupees, I think. So, honestly, the small seeker has a pretty good chance of doing it for him.
I wonder if the right candle's in level 9.
Well, based on my tracker, we're only missing an item in 7, both items in 4, and both items in 9, so it's highly possible.
Still no magic key sighting, and BydeezDad is once again out of keys and out of bombs.
And out of luck here.
Man, out of keys, out of bombs, out of life, out of luck, like, he's got 56 rupees. Oh, I'm not sure you can bribe Ganon.
I think he just take the money and then run.
Yeah, he doesn't actually open the door, he's like, okay, see ya.
BydeezDad taking out his frustration on the old man. Now that does work to get some pseudo kills to help with 10 counting a bomb, but when you don't have any bombs in the first place, it's kind of hard to 10.
The other thing he can do with it is he could use it to build up to a 16 count and force a fairy.
That is possible, although at this point, all I can think of is he's got to go to...
The longer he puts off 1, the harder and harder it becomes to make the comeback.
And I think he might be ladder... I'm not sure if there's a workaround bomb hole, but... Actually, no, this isn't... Sorry, I'm trying to remember the exact map layout of 7. It was those 2 sections connected by that middle bridge. I think he might actually be fully ladder blocked from that eastern end.
Not only that, but even if there is a bomb workaround, he doesn't have bombs. And to answer the question in chat, yeah.
He doesn't have bombs, and he also isn't killing these enemies for bombs.
He is now. And to answer the question, yes, BydeezDad did go back and pick up the raft, and he's now getting the money to buy the candle.
Noki exploring, I don't believe these are some of the rooms that BydeezDad was able to explore, lacking the ladder. But we know we won't see anything interesting here, because we've seen all the items. Noki's already picked up the wand, just the power bracelet and the Harken Tailor, neither of which have any use anymore. I mean, you can't ignore Harken Tailor, but with the red ring and 9 hearts, Noki should in theory be fine.
Well, just look at his key count, though. I mean, I don't know if he skips magic key if he sees it, but I don't think he goes out of his way for it.
Oh, definitely not. In my opinion, magic key isn't something you go out of your way for in the first place, unless you are key blocked in just about every dungeon, in which case buying a key might be worth it.
I've had one of these seeds where I had to buy 6 keys. It was a seed. Well, I didn't have to buy 6 keys. I bought 6 keys because I was dumb about it, but whatever.
I think I was commentating that race.
You might have been.
Either way, Goma, Patra, Moriki, and no Triforce for Noki. He needs to find that staircase leading to that small arm, I guess you would call it, down at the bottom.
Bydeez is gonna go to the raft spot, see that it's level 9, and will be left with no option but to go to the candle location, unless he wants to dig 6.
I do wonder why he bought the candle and then went all the way to the raft spot before burning the bush.
We see a Triforce in 8, and now he can't get off the raft spot.
Turns out that Triforce was not blocked behind the ladder on that arm.
That's like getting bounced back and forth off of that raft spot constantly is just a thing that happens.
Yeah, it's very, very easy to be in that situation. And usually the best thing to do is just not try, just save and quit. Especially with that one, you're close enough to start that usually it doesn't matter. BydeezDad did actually continue, but only after spending about several attempts getting walled there, so it cost him some time, unfortunately.
Noji is now in level 4, sees a rupee boss, sees an immediate stare. This is probably a split dungeon.
Almost certainly a segmented 4.
Oh, look at that! It's a split 4!
The real fun is it more than one segment?
I think Bydeez is saving up to get a blue ring. Also, we'll never know, because Triforce 3 rooms in.
Level 4 didn't really want to be a part of this seed. Level 4 saw what the rest of the seed had to offer and was like, okay, get me out of here.
So Nochibato has 8 minutes to sub-hour this seed. But at about 52-ish minutes, give or take some seconds, he will be the first of our runners into level 9. As Bydeez is just now entering level 1.
Now, 8 minutes... I say my theory is I count 10 minutes for 9, and if it takes less, then consider it a miracle. But it can very easily be a 30-second level 9, or a 20-minute level 9. It really is the great equalizer.
Absolutely. You can go all 3 directions from start. That's actually a good point from chat bringing up. Nochi's at 6 bombs max.
Oof, looks like he did take the -2 bombs, so if this is a very bomb-heavy 9, this could be a bit of a problem.
We've already heard Ganon, though.
That's kind of crazy. Is this actually going to be the legendary few-minute 9?
It could be. Nochi is looking around to see if he can determine exactly which room Ganon's in. Okay, so we now know the exact location of Ganon. He is a couple rooms north of the start.
Well, the question is, where is Zelda?
Level 7. And
Could be in that room.
it could be.
I'd just kill Ganon first and then come back.
I was gonna say, I don't necessarily agree with that choice. Wait a minute, though.
Shutter.
Nope, not that room. Getting trolled by the block, and also Bydeez is leaving level 1 out of bombs.
But he's got max rupees. I looked away for a moment. He had no money, and now he's got all the money. When did this happen?
I think he picked up another large secret. I think he's saving up to get a blue ring.
Noki gets the stun lock, kills Ganon. Now we just need Zelda.
And the answer to the question in chat, which is Nochi's run currently the fastest run in the tournament? I don't know offhand. For the qualifier stages, If we're including the qualifier stages, it definitely is not. I haven't been keeping up with all of the bracket matches to know what the fastest bracket match has.
It definitely won't be the fastest by the end of the tournament, but so far, it could be. I've seen a lot of long post-hour seeds.
Now, as far as for Nochibato's own seeds, this has a very good chance of being his fastest personal seed.
Heck, I still struggled the sub-hour, although not usually for lack of trying.
Sub-hour does sometimes need the right layout. Like, this is a sub-hourable layout. Sometimes if you get a layout where it's like just full clear 6 and 8 and 7 to get everything, you're kind of...
Like the last seed.
Yeah, like last seed. You're kind of just not in a great position to sub-hour it. BydeezDad is going to pick up another heart container. I think he might be looking for a blue ring shop at this point.
I think it's probably pretty likely. He might want to take a stab at Magic Sword, although he does only have a 20% chance at it. So it's a bit out of his way.
Well, I think given the combat in this seed, he's probably looking for any advantage he can get for combat.
Well, we mentioned, what if it's a bomb-heavy 9? Looks that way as Noki runs out of bombs, and gonna have to find a way to get creative.
You know what else he might be looking for is keys on the side of BydeezDad.
Well, there are a few more ways you can go from the start.
Wait a minute, there's this open door!
And unless it's a vertical shoot room, which it is not, Noki takes it with an official SRL race time of 57 minutes and 2 seconds.
And with that, Nochibato will take the 2-0 for the series, and we'll be moving on to the next round of the brackets.
BydeezDad did immediately forfeit afterwards. So, we'll see if we can get an interview from our runners. And in the meantime, feel free to check out the rest of the Speed Gaming series of channels, because we've got a lot of Zelda 1 Rando coming up later today. Let me just pull up our list of how many races we've... Let's see. So, at 8 Eastern, we got Magic Friends versus X-Russian Bishop. At 9, it's Bogey Smalls versus Norestra. At 10, Brewers Fan JB versus Shinton 1. At 10:30, the match 2 from Bogey and Norway. Lots of matches being scheduled of Zelda 1 on Speed Gaming and also on Randomania. So, and also if you'd like what you've seen, feel free to follow both our runners, Speed Gaming Family Networks, myself and Alsoa, your commentators, and let's not forget Dude, whom without we'd have a lot harder of a time tracking where our items were. Big shoutouts to them.
So with that, and with this series coming to a conclusion, Nochibato will move on to fight Amazing Toaster in the next round of the brackets, and this will be the end of the tournament run for BydeezDad.
We will be getting an interview from Nochi. Just give it need a few moments to get it set up.
It's kind of interesting that both seeds kind of went the same way.
Yeah, heavy combat, lots of free items in terms of just, the seed gave you everything to explore, but you had to fight your way through the dungeons. And both seeds were pretty rough. It's not easy to sometimes you see players just like the best players doing sub hours and almost every race, and other people just having difficult times. But that's because this is a very difficult game. Don't be fooled by some of the just the best of the best, because they've worked really hard, and I think anyone can definitely get to the best skill level if you practice and practice hard enough. And Noki really showed that he was doing some practice. I was really impressed with some of his combat, and especially those were really good Ganon fights at the end.
Absolutely. And to expand on that a little bit, if you are somebody that's coming in, wants to learn it, ask any questions that you've got. The community is very receptive to answering questions. We don't bite much. Some of us might a little bit because that's just how we are, but always feel free to ask questions. There will always be somebody that can answer the question and get you set on the right path to get you learning and getting better at this game.
Okay, we got Noki joining us shortly. So, you how are you feeling about those seeds, Nochibato?
I mean, the first one, I honestly felt behind, but I was really glad to get the ladder early. The second one, it threw everything at me, so I was going to take it.
So that you're aware, in both cases, you had the ladder long before Bydeez did. I don't think Bydeez picked up the ladder in the first seed until about an hour-ish in. And in the second one, he ran out of keys in level 1, and it looked like he was trying to find a blue ring shop before going back in there.
Yeah, it was a rough seed, and some of your digs, especially some of these late game dungeons, really paid off. So let's talk about some of these, because you dug 5 early, 6 early, 7 early in some of these seeds. What are your thoughts behind just digging all? Especially when a lot of the earlier dungeons haven't been found yet, but they're smaller, and so they take less time.
Right, but if the combat is easy enough, I'll dig anything, because I'd rather not have to come back than have it weighing on my mind.
Fair enough. Sometimes can be really enticing to just clear a dungeon right away and not have to double dip. Although you did make some really good gambles, and pretty much all your gambles these races paid off dividends. So it worked out really well. But I was impressed with some of your combat, notably your Ganon fights. Those were some really good fights. And regarding combat, these were really rough seeds. Anything you want to comment on that?
I credit all of my Ganon ability to Redbird. I watched his video a lot, and it severely helped me. And when it comes to things like Blue Dark Nuts, if I have the space, I can get them. But the question is the time worth it? And that's something I'm always fighting.
Now, I did in this ladder race, you were looking for what exactly were you looking for in 5 after you got in the bow? Was it the red ring or just something else in general, or what were your thoughts there when you kept digging in Goma? Digging in level 5, that is.
I wasn't positive I was in go mode, to be honest. And then if I found a staircase, I was going to take it, hopefully to find the any key, because I will always take that. I know that 9 can vacuum away your keys in an instant.
Yeah, well, Bydeez did have a bit of troubles with key issues, but you were rocking a huge number of keys for the majority of both seeds. It was kind of crazy. So, And either way, it worked out well.
Yeah, you kind of substituted the any key for just all of the keys.
I've been restreamed once before on a daily race, and I had all the keys there too. So I think it's something that you guys do that gives me all the keys. I don't know what it is, but I love.
Well, either way, what you're doing seems to be working out quite nicely. So as you move on into round 2, you're going to be facing off against Amazing Toaster, seed number 24. Any thoughts or reservations about how that will go?
I think I can make him sweat a little bit, but I honestly think that he is a better runner than I am. But Rando is gonna Rando, so I'm not gonna just throw in the towel.
Yeah, well, all I can recommend is just keep on practicing and learning the strats, getting more familiar with combat, more familiar with combat with less items, minimalist, and just the best thing I can suggest is knowing when to dig and when it would be faster to come back later. But either way, thank you for joining us. I'm not sure if we're gonna get an interview from Bydeez, so we might just wrap it.
Well, thank you to the commentary team and to the tracker and restreamer. And I hope to put on a good show for you against Toaster in the next.
Yeah, and with that, just one last shout-outs to everyone involved. Myself and Alsoa, Dude, our tracker, our runners, Noki and Bydeez, and the Speed Gaming series of family. I think I said that wrong. Either way, I'm Cavity856, and I'll catch you next.
Yes, and I've been Alsoa. And real quick, right as we're heading, just to give a quick rundown of what we have coming up later tonight, we do have Magic Friends versus Ex-Russian Bishop at 8 o'clock. We have Bogey versus Nerestra, Game 1 at 9, Game 2 scheduled for 10:30. Brewers Fan versus Stan 1 at 10. Druid Gamer versus Chrono JJ at 11. And Brewers Fan versus Stan Game 2 currently scheduled for 11:30.